finished 20 minutes late. Right, in the UK today there was a stabbing. Not unusual. It was at the Finsbury Park Mosque, though, which is a little usual. If you Google Finsbury Park stabbing, many Google results, there is a lot of stabbing, including at the Finsbury Park Mosque. There's been a few. But in this one today, someone went in there and stabbed someone in the neck. Now, it's a terrible thing. There's no getting by it. It's absolutely dreadful and awful. Now, was it Regents Park? I do apologise, Finsbury Park, Regents, but I don't know, somewhere down south. But none of that's what I'm really wanted to focus on, because the news will tell you all about what interested me. I've just frozen again here. What interested me, it seems whenever you do something on there.
I was putting that picture. I was putting that picture up for you then.
Right. Okay. So, man was stabbed. Now, what interested me was the narrative that went around about this almost immediately. You're going to be careful how I phrase this one, because it's going to come across as very gammony and everything. Imagine that. You know, when we get a terrorist attack, or, you know, someone goes onto London Bridge, stabs 8 people, has a bomb vest and everything, and online you get the same comments each time. Oh, the religion of peace is at it again, or, you know, it's the Muslims, and people jump down their throat and say, you shouldn't say that yet because you don't know who it is. You don't have the information. It might just be somebody that's mentally ill. Which, by the way, anyone that stabs a load of people and has a pretend bomb vest is, by definition, as far as I'm concerned, mentally ill. But we're told we shouldn't assume these things, got to chill out. We shouldn't judge everyone else by it, which is correct, by the way. We can't judge all Muslims by the actions of the Islamic sort of extremists. And we shouldn't do that, because we're all fucking right-wing arseholes if we do that. Now, there was this stabbing today in the mosque, and I went on Twitter, because what interests me is the story. Someone's been stabbed. It's a tragedy. There's fucking loads of them every day. The narrative. Now, I read the first initial reports. There was no talk about who the attacker was. Online, people dived on it. White supremacist. And of course that turned into, this is what happens in Brexit Britain. This is all your fault, you gammony bastards who voted Brexit. This is why this happened. You've normalised racism. I can't think of a time in history when racism has been any less normalised than it is right now. But however, you've done it. You've done this. You bastards. You dreadful bastards. White supremacy everywhere. Oh, so many of my friends are frightened of being in this country now because all this racism and horror and terror. And then I read some eyewitness reports, and one guy said, yeah, this racist still burst in and he stabbed someone. That was an eyewitness report. Fuel to the fire. It's because we got Boris Johnson. Oh, Brexit. This is the future. This is what we've got. Then the narrative changes a little bit, because then we're getting actual eyewitness reports. People that belong to the mosque saying, he's been coming here for about 6 months. He was a very quiet, nice man. When he was arrested, he had no shoes on, which means he was participating at the mosque. Now, there's an assumption he is just genuinely mentally ill. And a lot of people go, that's because you don't want to call him a terrorist. I don't know what his motives are. And I can jump to conclusions with people like the London Bridge attackers, because they're running around screaming Allahu Akbar, stabbing people with fake bomb vests on, and they've been in fucking prison for terrorism before. So you know it's not a massive leap. You know, when a prick blows up at the Manchester Arena, kills a load of fucking kids with a suicide bomb, it's not a massive leap to go, yeah, that's probably terrorism. If this had been some big fucking skinhead with a swastika tattooed on him, ran in and said, kill all the muzzies, and stabbed someone in the neck, I've got no problem calling that terrorism. Because that's exactly what it is. Using terror to further your political or ideological position. Still tonight, people are saying, Brexit, Britain. Even though it's come out, it's been going 6 months. He was some kind of undercover white supremacist motherfucker to keep that up for 6 months. making friends with people, going there, being quiet, polite. And then, for some reason, his dastardly plan kicked into effect, and he stabbed some poor bastard in the neck who genuinely didn't deserve it, from what we can tell. The narrative doesn't change. People will ignore as much of this as possible to focus on, this is Brexit Britain. This is you racists. This is you terrible people. You encouraged this. Did you vote leave? If you voted leave, the blood is on your hands. Now, little question. If you voted Remain, and you're pro-letting every refugee in, even if they're clearly not children and things like that, like this guy from Syria that killed himself at the arena, whose name I don't say. If you notice, we never really mention terrorist names very often. If you support all those, on paper, very good liberal ideas, is the blood on your hands? Is that your fucking fault? I'm not talking to our viewers, obviously. But is the blood on your hands? Is that what it is? Graham told me a story before. Do you remember Charlottesville, where that fucking lunatic ran that poor girl over? Do you remember that? We heard about that a lot, didn't we? We heard about that a hell of a lot. Graham tells me some complete and utter bastard drove his car through a tent full of Trump supporters. Little old Diz. I didn't even hear about it. Because no one gives a fuck, because it doesn't fit the narrative. It doesn't ever fit the narrative, and I'm sick of this fucking narrative. There was a guy I was having a discussion with where I said the far left are as authoritarian and dictatorial and dreadful as the far right. He admitted to being authoritarian, but it was for good. Because there's good bastards and there's bad bastards. There's no such fucking thing. Smoke Steve says, I don't understand why you Brits seem to overlook the fact that Muslims are radicalised in the UK. It's a huge problem. The Mosque hidden camera video the women filmed last year was irony. Of course there are problems. There are many shit people who happen to be Muslims. Many. And what helps them is the paranoia of social services and police and things like that for being called racist, for focusing on them. We spoke about this on a previous show. That's why we have these grooming gangs being overlooked. Why we had officers being told, find someone of another ethnicity. Because they found about 100 Asian guys. And they're like, no. It's this fear. This fear of being seen as racist. This is why a guy makes a comment, calls someone him on Twitter. There's 4 policemen around your house telling you fix the way you think. But we won't go and do anything about a bunch of guys fucking young girls and killing them. We won't do anything about that because we don't want to be called racist. You're a racist if you don't want those girls to get raped. Would you fucking misgender someone? You bastard. We'll have everyone on you. And it'll be recorded on your record. Was it non-criminal hate crime or some shit like that?
Hate incident. Hate
incident.
Yeah. And it comes up on your CRB checks.
I would fucking love to see. I'm going to have to get one done. I hope I've got some.
Apparently,
I hope I've got about 40.
Apparently 2 people a day get put on just for making jokes on Twitter. 2 people a day at the moment.
Britain's fucked. Make no mistake, we're fucked. Slowly, we'll probably see a shift towards our... Because it's always a seesaw, isn't it, with society. At some point, the Tories are dragging away. We had some... Michael Portillo, ex-Tory minister, made a fascinating documentary on the death penalty, as it happens. He's the one that went out there to look into the death penalty and spoke with scientists that had found a way that kills you, but you die with your euphoria, I think. Is it carbon dioxide? Something like that. Some gas, you die happy. You just drift away. And you're dead. Because the punishment's being dead, right? This congressman or senator went, no, it should hurt. Right. So death isn't just the punishment. We got to fucking hurt you on the way out. But Michael Portillo, he came out against self-ID because he said, we're not really thinking about the ramifications of this. This is the first one that's just gone out there. Stone's out. He said, look, this is wrong. You can't have some big strapping bloke with a beard and a fucking hard-on strolling around a lady's changing room going, but I'm a lady. You must allow me. Observeth my priapic lady penis. No, you can't allow that. It's fucking wrong. He spoke out about it. Now, I noticed the cancel junkies didn't jump on him quite as much. Probably because they know he wouldn't give a fuck. He's got nothing to lose. You know, we got the Labour Party, as we spoke about, climbing on that issue. And we just need to chill the fuck out. If someone's raping kids, you fucking go and arrest them. And you put them in prison. I don't give a fuck what colour they are. Don't fucking care what God they pray to or don't pray to. Don't care. You know, and if someone calls someone that wants to be called her, him, it's rude, but who gives a fuck, right? Doesn't matter. No one dies. Oh, but it encourages them to commit suicide. Doesn't everything? Doesn't fucking everything now? The suicide rates for trans people are fucking horrific, and you're not going to tell me that's all because of abuse. Because they've got massive stresses in their life. They've got mental problems. I'm not saying they're dribbling fucking lunatics that should be in straitjackets, but clearly there's some heavy shit going on in their brains and they can't always deal with it. And even after they've gone through this gender reassignment surgery, the suicide rate is still fucking astonishingly high. You can't just say, oh, well, it's because you call them names. Because what if we stopped that and they're still doing it? What else would you like to ban? Society's gone fucking strange. And it's going to take a long time to fix. And, you know, it's all right saying about the UK and radicalised Muslims or bad guys, this, or that. It's happening wherever the fuck you are, unless you're in Poland, I guess. But it's like, look how many American citizens have been killed by Islamic terrorists. Bad people are everywhere. You just got to look out for the fact that you're not encouraging them by leaving them the fuck alone to do whatever they want. Hell, there's a Sharia court in Texas. I remember telling a guy in Texas that he lost his shit. You know, but they are. They're there. It's just, we spend too much time trying to demonize everybody and not focusing on the fact that our own governments don't look after the fucking bad people properly. That's what it's about, and everyone jumps in it. Like I say, that's why the stabbing today just drove me insane, because it went so quickly from someone being stabbed to a complete character assassination of anyone that voted Leave or Tory or whatever else. It's your fault. It's just fucking weakness. Absolutely weak.